Road cycling power training is a series of scientifically designed training methods aimed at enhancing the power output of cyclists. Through this training, riders can improve their performance in various riding scenarios, including climbing, sprinting, or maintaining high-speed cruising. The following are 10 main sections of road cycling power training, which comprehensively explain its concepts, methods, and applications. 1. Understanding power data. Power data provides real-time feedback for cycling training, including but not limited to average power, maximum power, functional threshold power, FTP, and power zones. Understanding how to read and analyze this data can help cyclists set specific training goals and conduct targeted workouts. Functional threshold power, FTP. FTP refers to the maximum average power output a cyclist can sustain for 1 hour, serving as a key indicator of a rider's endurance and threshold power. Regular FTP testing and adjusting training intensity based on the results are crucial for improving cycling performance. Setting training zones. Based on the FTP results, cyclists can divide their training efforts into different power zones, such as recovery, endurance, tempo, threshold, VO2 max, etc. Each zone corresponds to specific training goals and physiological responses. By training in different zones, cyclists can comprehensively improve their riding skills. Developing a personalized training plan. Utilizing power meters and power data, along with the cyclist's season goals, individual strengths and weaknesses, and available time, to design a personalized training plan. This plan should encompass various types of training, such as interval training, long rides, recovery rides, etc., to ensure training diversity and specificity. Monitoring progress and adjusting training. By regularly reviewing power data and conducting retests, cyclists can assess the effectiveness of their training plan and make adjustments as needed. This not only helps cyclists stay motivated, but also ensures the effectiveness and continuous improvement of the training. In summary, the foundation of power training is built on precise measurement and scientific analysis. By effectively utilizing power meters and related data, cyclists can train in a more systematic and scientific manner, thereby achieving their cycling goals. Throughout this process, it is important to continue learning, adapting, and optimizing training methods to pursue the best training outcomes. 2. Power testing and assessment. Power testing and assessment are at the core of the entire training program. It not only provides a baseline for the rider's current performance, but also helps in setting more precise training zones, thereby making the training more purposeful and efficient. Power testing typically revolves around FTP, functional threshold power testing, which represents the maximum average power output a rider can sustain for 1 hour. The following are key steps and considerations for conducting power testing and assessment. Preparation for power testing. Health status. Ensure the rider is in good physical condition without any injuries or excessive fatigue. Equipment check. Ensure the power meter is calibrated correctly and the bicycle is in good condition. Environmental factors. Choose a route with low wind speeds and minimal traffic, or use a stationary trainer for indoor testing. FTP testing methods. 20-minute test. After a thorough warm-up, perform a continuous 20-minute all-out effort ride. After the test, multiply the average power output for the 20 minutes by 0.95 to estimate the FTP value. 1-hour test. This is a more accurate but also more challenging test, requiring the rider to sustain an all-out effort ride for 1 hour, with the average power output for the hour directly recorded as the FTP. Evaluation and setting training zones. After completing the test, the training intensity is divided into different zones based on the FTP results, such as recovery, endurance, tempo, threshold, VO2 max, etc. Each zone has its specific training objectives to help riders improve performance in different aspects. Cycle of power testing. To effectively track progress and adjust training plans, it is recommended to conduct an FTP test every 3 to 6 months. This can help riders understand their performance changes in a timely manner and adjust training intensity based on the test results. Precautions. Avoid high-intensity or high-volume training the day before the test. Stay focused during the testing process and minimize external distractions. Consider daily performance fluctuations and refrain from making drastic changes to the training plan based solely on one test result. Regular power testing and evaluation. 3. Determination of training zones. Utilizing a power meter for determining training zones is a crucial technique for enhancing athletic performance. This approach enables riders and coaches to tailor training based on specific power outputs, thereby enhancing cycling ability more scientifically and effectively. Here is a further detailed explanation of the process for determining training zones. Basic concepts of power training. Before discussing training zones, it's important to understand the basic concepts of power training. Power, watts, is a critical metric for measuring the efficiency of cyclists, directly reflecting the force they apply to the pedals within a specific time frame. The use of a power meter allows training to be adjusted based on real-time data, enabling precise analysis and evaluation of riding performance. FTP and its importance. Functional threshold power, FTP, is defined as the maximum average power output a rider can sustain for 1 hour. It is crucial for determining training zones, as all training zones are divided based on percentages of FTP. Through regular FTP testing, riders can assess their progress and adjust their training plans accordingly. Dividing training zones. Based on FTP, training zones can be subdivided into 7 different levels, each corresponding to specific training objectives and desired physiological effects. These zones range from low-intensity recovery training to high-intensity anaerobic and neuromuscular training, covering various aspects of cycling performance. Determining training zones is based on the rider's functional threshold power, FTP, which helps riders engage in targeted training at different intensities, thereby enhancing their cycling performance. The following is a breakdown of training zone divisions and their detailed explanations from Zone 1 to Zone 7. Zone 1, active recovery, 55% FTP. Objective, aid in rider recovery, reduce fatigue, and promote muscle blood circulation. Training effect, enhance cycling recovery capacity, maintain muscle flexibility, and promote a relaxed sensation. Cadence, 90 to 100 RPM, focusing on easy and comfortable riding. Zone 2, endurance, 56 to 75% FTP. Objective, enhance base endurance, increase the proportion of fat as the primary energy source. Training effect, improve the ability for prolonged rides, enhance efficiency of the cardiovascular system. Cadence, 85 to 95 RPM, maintaining a steady rhythm. Zone 3, tempo, 76 to 90% FTP. Objective, improve rhythm and endurance below lactate threshold during rides. Training effect, enhance riding ability at moderate intensity, improve efficiency of energy utilization. Cadence, 85 to 95 RPM, aiming for a comfortable and steady rhythm. Zone 4, lactate threshold, 91%, 105% FTP. Objective, increase functional threshold power and lactate tolerance. Training effect, enable riders to sustain stable output at higher intensities, enhancing performance in competitions. Cadence, 85 to 95 RPM, focusing on maintaining intensity. Zone 5, VO2 Max, 106 to 120% FTP. Objective, increase maximum oxygen uptake, enhance cardiovascular function, and muscle oxygen utilization. Training effect, improve performance capacity under high-intensity output, increase speed and explosiveness. Cadence, 90 to 105 RPM, focusing on high-intensity output. Zone 6, anaerobic capacity, 121% FTP. Objective, improve maximum power output in a short period, enhance anaerobic metabolism capacity. Training effect, enhance sprinting ability and maximum output in a short period. Cadence, 95 to 110 RPM, aiming for maximum explosiveness. Zone 7, neuromuscular power, 150% FTP. Objective, training for maximum explosive power, improving neuromuscular coordination and peak power output. Training effect, maximizing power output during sprints, enhancing initiation and acceleration abilities. Cadence, over 110 RPM, focusing on brief maximum explosiveness. Through the scientific division of these training zones, cyclists can train under different physiological loads to systematically improve various aspects of their riding. It's important to perform adequate warm-up and cool-down exercises before and after each training session to ensure safety and effectiveness. Additionally, adjustments and optimizations should be made timely according to individual training responses and recovery status to achieve optimal training outcomes. Application of training zones. Once the training zones are determined, cyclists can engage in different types of targeted training. For example, endurance training, Zone 2, helps improve the ability for long-duration rides, while VO2 Max training, Zone 5, aims to enhance maximum oxygen uptake and cardiovascular function. Through diversified training, cyclists can comprehensively improve their riding performance. Development and adjustment of training plans. With clear training zones in place, cyclists and coaches can develop personalized training plans based on season goals and current training status. These plans should encompass a full spectrum of training intensities, from low to high, and be adjusted based on rider feedback and test results to ensure training remains effective and targeted. Conclusion: by scientifically determining training zones, road cycling power training provides cyclists with a clear path to improvement, from foundational endurance training to focused threshold enhancements, and further to explosiveness and speed improvements. Each training stage is based on precise power data, ensuring every pedal stroke propels towards the goal. As training progresses, regular evaluations and adjustments will help cyclists continually push their limits and reach new heights. Four, endurance training. Endurance training holds a significant position in power training, aiming to enhance a cyclist's ability for long-duration rides, particularly at low to moderate intensities. This type of training helps improve a rider's foundational fitness, enhances cardiovascular function, and increases the efficiency of utilizing fat as an energy source. Here are several key points regarding endurance training. Training principles. Endurance training primarily focuses on long-duration rides at low to moderate intensities. Through this training, cyclists can enhance the efficiency of their cardiovascular system, increase the utilization of fat and glycogen as energy sources by muscles, thereby prolonging the onset of fatigue. Training methods. Endurance training typically involves prolonged periods of low-intensity riding, Zone 2, 56–75% FTP, and moderate intensity riding, Zone 3, 76%, 90% FTP. The duration of training sessions can range from 1 hour to several hours, depending on the cyclist's training background and goals. Training effects. Improved cardiovascular function. Long-duration endurance training effectively enhances the efficiency of the cardiovascular system, increasing maximal oxygen uptake. Increased metabolic efficiency. Through endurance training, cyclists' bodies can more efficiently utilize fat as an energy source, thereby maintaining stable energy output during long rides. Enhanced endurance. Consistent endurance training significantly improves overall endurance, enabling cyclists to maintain better performance in races or long-distance rides. Cadence. In endurance training, it is recommended to maintain a steady and comfortable cadence, typically between 85 to 95 RPM. This helps improve cycling efficiency and reduce muscle fatigue. Considerations. Moderate progression. Endurance training requires time to accumulate effects. Overtraining may lead to excessive fatigue or injury. Nutrition and recovery. Adequate refueling is crucial during long-duration endurance training. Additionally, ensuring sufficient recovery is also an important factor in enhancing training effectiveness. In summary, endurance training is an essential part of road cycling power training, providing cyclists with a solid physical foundation and laying the groundwork. 5. Threshold training. Threshold training is a crucial component of cycling training, primarily aimed at improving a cyclist's functional threshold power, FTP. Simply put, the maximum power you can sustain without exhausting yourself for about an hour. Why train at threshold? Improving your FTP means you can ride at higher speeds without accumulating fatigue. This is especially important in competitions, as a higher FTP translates to better performance, whether climbing or engaging in long-distance flat racing. How does threshold training work? Threshold training typically involves training at or near your FTP, which is approximately 90 to 105% intensity. This type of training usually consists of several minutes to a dozen minutes of high-intensity riding, followed by a brief rest, and then repeated. Training effects. Training in this manner helps your body adapt to working at high intensities, improving your lactate threshold. This allows you to ride at higher speeds for longer periods without feeling fatigued. Over time, this significantly enhances cycling efficiency and race performance. How to conduct threshold training. A basic threshold training session could look like this. Warm up for 20 minutes, then do 3 to 4 sets of 10-minute rides at 95% intensity of your FTP, with 5 minutes of rest between each set. Finish with a cool down. What to keep in mind during training. Warm up and cool down. Ensure proper warm up and cool down before and after high-intensity training to prevent injuries. Maintain cadence. When performing threshold training, try to maintain a steady cadence, typically between 85 to 95 RPM. Listen to your body. High-intensity training places significant stress on the body, so pay attention to how your body responds. Adjust the intensity and frequency of your training as needed to avoid overtraining. While threshold training may sound intimidating at first, over time, you'll find yourself handling these high-intensity workouts. 6. VO2 Max training. VO2 Max training focuses on improving the maximum amount of oxygen your body can utilize during maximal effort, which directly impacts your performance in high-intensity activities like climbing or sustained all-out sprints. Principles of VO2 Max training. The core principle of VO2 Max training involves stimulating the body through short-duration, high-intensity interval training to push the limits of cardiovascular function and enhance your maximum oxygen consumption. In simple terms, it's about pushing yourself to the point of being out of breath to improve your fitness. Methods of VO2 Max training. This type of training typically consists of several minutes of high-intensity cycling, interspersed with shorter periods of low-intensity recovery. For example, you may need to complete 4 to 6 sets of 4 to 5 minutes each at your estimated VO2 max intensity, roughly 106 to 120% of your FTP, with 4 to 5 minutes of rest between each set. The purpose of VO2 max training: enhancing maximum oxygen uptake. This is the most direct objective of VO2 max training, which can make you more competitive in races. Strengthening cardiovascular function. Through this type of training, you can enhance your heart's pumping ability and the efficiency of oxygen exchange in your lungs. Increasing lactate threshold. Although this is primarily the aim of threshold training, VO2 max training can also help in improving this aspect, allowing you to maintain a higher intensity for longer periods. The effects of VO2 max training. After a period of VO2 max training, you will find that your endurance at high intensities has increased, and you are not as easily fatigued. During the climbing or sprinting stages of a race, you will find that you can recover from fatigue faster and maintain a higher speed. Cadence during VO2 max training. When undergoing VO2 max training, it is recommended to keep the cadence between 90 to 105 RPM. This ensures that both your muscles and cardiorespiratory system are working efficiently and also avoids excessive fatigue due to too low a cadence. Precautions. Recovery is important. High-intensity training requires ample recovery. Otherwise, it can easily lead to overtraining. Nutritional support. Before and after undergoing VO2 max training, ensure you consume sufficient nutrients to support your training and recovery. Personalized training. The intensity of VO2 max training needs to be adjusted based on individual 7. Sprint training. Sprint training is crucial in cycling training, especially for those riders who need to explode with maximum speed before the finish line. This type of training can significantly increase power output in a short period, allowing riders to surpass their competitors or finish strong in the final sprint. Purpose of sprint training: increase maximum power output. Through sprint training, riders can reach or exceed their maximum power output in a short time. Enhance muscle resilience and explosiveness. This training also strengthens the rider's muscle resilience, improving the muscle's response to rapid contractions. Improve sprinting techniques and tactics. Sprinting is not only a physical competition, but also involves skill and tactical deployment. Through training, riders can learn how to maintain optimal posture during the sprint and choose the best moment to sprint. Methods of sprint training. Sprint training typically includes the following steps. Warm-up. Perform a thorough warm-up to prepare the muscles and cardiorespiratory system. Warm-up can include easy riding and a few brief accelerations. Sprint drills. Choose a straight section of road for sprint drills. Start at a slower speed, gradually accelerating to a full sprint for about 10 to 30 seconds, followed by ample recovery. Recovery. After each sprint, ensure sufficient recovery so the rider can maintain a high level of performance for the next sprint. Recovery time is usually 2 to 3 times the sprint duration. Repeat. Depending on the rider's training plan and physical condition, repeat the sprint drills several times. Cadence and power in sprint training. Cadence and power distribution during a sprint are crucial. Riders need to learn how to adjust their cadence during the sprint to ensure reaching the highest speed in the shortest time. The ideal cadence for sprinting is usually above 110 RPM, but this should also be adjusted according to individual characteristics and conditions. Precautions. Technical correctness. Maintaining the correct riding posture and technique during sprint training is crucial for enhancing efficiency and reducing the risk of injury. Safety first. Choose suitable roads for sprint training. Be aware of the surroundings and avoid training in areas with heavy traffic or complex road conditions. Moderate training. Sprint training is high intensity and places a significant strain on the body, so it's important to control the volume of training to avoid overtraining and fatigue accumulation. Through consistent and planned sprint 8. Climbing training. Climbing training is indispensable for cyclists looking to improve their racing performance. Whether it's short and steep climbs or long ascents with a gentle gradient, effective climbing training can help riders gain an advantage at these critical moments. Here are some detailed explanations for climbing training. Purpose of climbing training. Improve climbing efficiency. Through specific training, increase riding efficiency while climbing, including improving riding posture and cadence. Strengthen muscle endurance. Enhance the endurance of leg muscles so they can maintain stable output during long durations or high-intensity climbs. Enhance cardiovascular function. Climbing training requires a significant amount of oxygen consumption. Continuous training can strengthen cardiovascular function and increase maximum oxygen uptake. Methods of climbing training. Climbing training can be divided into different types, each targeting specific goals and effects. Long climbs with gentle gradients for endurance. Choose a long climb with a gentle gradient for continuous riding, aimed at enhancing endurance and cardiovascular function. Short, steep climbs for power. Select a short, steep section to climb at a higher intensity, aimed at strengthening the explosive power and strength of leg muscles. Interval climbing training. Combine short, high-intensity climbs with gentle descents or flat sections for recovery, aimed at improving the rider's recovery ability and explosive power during climbs. Climbing techniques. Riding posture. Adjusting the riding posture appropriately during climbs can increase efficiency with a slight forward lean, enhancing power output. Cadence adjustment. Maintain an appropriate cadence around 70 to 90 RPM to avoid muscle fatigue from too low or too high a cadence. Breathing rhythm. Keep deep, regular breathing to help improve oxygen utilization efficiency. Precautions. Choose the right gradient and length. Select climbing sections based on personal training goals and physical fitness level. Pay attention to recovery. Climbing training places a significant strain on the body. Ensure there is sufficient recovery time between training sessions. 9. Recovery and regulation. In the realm of cycling power training, recovery and regulation is a crucial component. It encompasses not only how athletes effectively recover after high-intensity training, but also how to regulate the training plan to avoid overtraining, ensuring continuous improvement rather than regression. Importance of recovery. The recovery period is a critical time for the body to repair itself, adapt to the training load, and become stronger. During this phase, muscle tissues repair the micro damages caused by high-intensity training, and the cardiovascular system adapts to the load, thereby enhancing performance. Without sufficient recovery, these physiological improvements cannot be achieved. Recovery strategies. Active recovery training. Light exercise can help accelerate blood circulation, thus promoting muscle recovery. This includes low-intensity activities such as easy cycling, swimming, or walking. Proper nutritional intake. Post-training nutrition is vital for recovery. Carbohydrates help replenish muscle glycogen, while proteins are crucial for muscle repair. Adequate hydration. Maintaining good hydration helps facilitate metabolism and the transport of nutrients. Ample rest and sleep. High-quality sleep is key to recovery, as the body undergoes extensive repair and recuperation during sleep. Training regulation. Avoiding overtraining. Continuous high-intensity training without sufficient recovery can lead to overtraining, affecting performance and potentially causing injury. Therefore, regulating the training plan to ensure enough recovery days is crucial. Listening to the body's signals. The body communicates its condition in various ways, such as persistent fatigue, decreased sleep quality, changes in heart rate, etc. These signals may indicate the need for more recovery time. Regularly assessing and adjusting the training plan. Adjusting the training plan based on training progress and bodily responses is necessary. This could mean adding more recovery days, adjusting the intensity of training, or changing the focus of training. In summary, recovery and regulation are indispensable elements of power training. Through effective recovery strategies and wise training adjustments, athletes can ensure continuous progress. 10. Training plan and season planning. In cycling training, training plan and season planning are key steps that help athletes systematically improve performance and achieve seasonal goals. This process involves a deep understanding and analysis of the athlete's personal goals, physical characteristics, and key events of the season, leading to the development of a scientific and personalized training plan. Season goal setting. Firstly, setting clear and specific season goals is very important. These goals could be improving certain abilities, such as climbing or sprinting, achieving results in certain events, or reaching specific power metrics. Goals should follow the SMART criteria: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound, to effectively guide the training process and evaluate the training effects. Season phasing. Season planning typically includes several phases, such as the base training phase, specific training phase, competition phase, and transition phase. Each phase has different training focuses. For example, the base phase might focus on improving endurance and overall physical fitness, while the specific training phase would focus more on enhancing particular abilities like climbing or sprinting. Proper season phasing helps athletes reach their peak condition at critical moments. Training content and methods. Based on the stage of the season and set goals, training content should include aerobic endurance, anaerobic endurance, strength, speed, among other aspects. Training methods should also be diversified, including long rides, interval training, climbing training, group rides, etc., to ensure comprehensive physical development. Monitoring and adjustment. During the training process, regular power tests and monitoring of physical conditions, such as heart rate and fatigue levels, should be conducted to assess the training effects and physical changes. Based on this feedback, timely adjustments to the training plan are necessary to ensure the training remains optimal and efficient. Recovery and regulation. Recovery and regulation are equally important in the entire season planning. Ensuring sufficient recovery time and appropriate recovery methods, such as active recovery, massage, adequate sleep, etc., can help athletes better absorb the training results, avoid overtraining, and prevent injuries. Psychological preparation. Besides physical training, psychological preparation is also an indispensable part of season planning. Setting the right mindset, enhancing mental resilience in competitions, and learning effective stress management techniques are crucial for improving competition performance. In summary, training plan and season planning is a comprehensive, dynamically adjusted process. Summary: road cycling power training is a method that combines science and practice, aimed at helping riders enhance their power output and overall performance across various cycling scenarios. This training approach focuses not only on physical enhancement, but also includes familiarity with equipment, analysis of data, and psychological adjustment, covering all aspects of road cycling athletes' training. The core philosophy is to provide riders with a quantified training and evaluation benchmark through precise power testing, thereby guiding the design and implementation of training plans based on these data. This method makes training more goal-oriented, allowing for personalized adjustments based on the individual differences and specific goals of the rider, thereby increasing training efficiency and effectiveness. In the process of power training, comprehensiveness and balance are emphasized. From endurance training to threshold training, from improving VO2 Max to strengthening sprinting ability, each training component aims to solidify the rider's physical foundation while enhancing their performance capabilities in specific scenarios. Additionally, the inclusion of climbing training specifically enhances riders' ability to handle different terrains, maintaining competitiveness in varied race conditions. The importance of recovery and regulation is also fully emphasized, as no matter how efficient the training, without sufficient recovery, the rider's physical and mental state cannot reach its optimum and may even lead to overtraining and injuries. Therefore, recovery strategies and training plan adjustments become key to ensuring continuous progress for the rider. Lastly, the section on training plans and season planning provides riders with a framework for long-term goal planning, helping them arrange training cycles according to season goals and make necessary adjustments throughout the season. This not only enables riders to reach their best condition at critical moments, but also helps them effectively manage their physical and psychological preparation. Overall, road cycling power training is a multidimensional, comprehensive training method that requires riders to continually break through physically while also making continuous progress mentally, technically, and tactically. Through this systematic training approach, riders can better understand their physical condition, set training goals more precisely, and perform at their best in competitions.